on to another moment of harmony. I'm just gonna get us a little bit, move things around a little bit. Y'all know how I do sometimes. Please forgive. We had a little bit of a delay this morning. There was some issues with uploading the thumbnail. All of the YouTube users, content creators, bloggers, and vloggers, and podcast streamers like myself. If you are familiar with the YouTube platform, every now and again they have some technical errors or issues, and we had an issue this morning with getting my thumbnail uploaded. So a little bit late. Thank you so much for your patience. For those that are streaming in live, for those that are watching on the playback, you ain't worried about it. But welcome. We are having a moment of harmony at a regularly scheduled time of Saturdays at 10 a.m. I am so very grateful to have you here, to share this moment with you, to be present in this moment with you. I am so excited because we are starting a brand new series today. So good for you if you are able to tune in today. I'm sorry, y'all. This is just, I always tell y'all we can't get the angles right until I'm live, because they don't give you a really clear view. So many apologies. I just want to make sure the optics are good. You can see me. I can see you. You know what I say? Okay. We are starting a brand new series today. We are coming out of 33 weeks. Good morning, my love. We are coming out of 33 weeks of looking back at it. We had a reflection series for 33 weeks. You guys hung in there. You guys used your tools for looking back over your traumas, looking back over your history, looking back over your pains in a divine way, in an explorative way, and in most importantly, a healing way. And now we are going to enter, which is probably going to be one of my most favorite series of the entire Moment of Harmony umbrella. Of the entire series overall, but this is going to probably be one of my favorite series, which is Meiotic Moments. We are going to be going through the 42 laws of Mayat. I have been wanting to do this since the birth of a Moment of Harmony. I have been really wanting to work this into a very practical and healing just methods, a way of doing things. And I've been really trying to figure it out. I've been really doing a lot of my homework and my research, as well as using my own teachings to making sure, or to make sure that we get where we want to be with Meiotic Moments. And I finally feel like all is well. We definitely have the subscribers and the audience that is willing to do the work and has proven that they're willing to put in a great deal of work. So kudos to all of you. Thank you to all of you for tuning in, for liking, for sharing, for messaging me privately. I love all of you, okay? We definitely have the momentum. You know, we've been going from series to series, and if you've been following me from my Facebook days, you've been here for a very long time, and you know all about our series. So I'm just so excited about Meiotic Moments. Again, going through the 42 laws of Mayat, using ammunitions, just coming into our character development, coming into when it comes to healing, when it comes to growing. Yes, we want to heal our traumas. Yes, we want to heal our pains, but we are not going to make any gains unless we nurture the character of our being, unless our roots are strong. All of the soil, all of the water, all of the sunlight doesn't matter if the roots are weak, if they're feeble, if they're unabsorbative, if they're non-receptive. So getting your roots receptive is your character. It's how open you are. It's how grand you are. It's what you can hold and what you can receive. And I'm so excited for us to get into that today. So Meiotic Moments, we start week number 1. And today's first law is I have not committed sin. I'm just so excited to get into these, because the way that we look at spiritual practices, the way that we look at conducting ourselves in divine manners, the way that this society teaches us to see ourselves as one with creation and one with the operation of creation. I just want to, break it all the way down and build it all the way back up. Build it up righteously, build it up honestly, transparently, practically. And that is what I very much intend to do with the Meiotic Moment series, 42 weeks. So here's the thing. First off, if you are starting with these meiotic moments with myself, we got 42 weeks of it. This is going to take us well into 2025. For those that won't, one day someone will be watching these videos many years back and they'll be like, what? But for those in real time in today's life, this is going to be taking us well into 2025, so well into the new year. And I think this is so divine because I think June is here. It's the first day of June. It's the first day of the month, so we have about 6 months left before 2025. We're halfway through the year and we're getting into meiotic moments. We're getting into our character development. We're getting into bettering and uplifting ourselves, our behavior. We're getting into making our behaviors more applicable or more in alignment with our healing. You cannot heal without your behavior being receptive. Remember, we talked about the roots being able to be receptive and absorptive. So 6 months away from 2025, the new year is going to be coming in, and our meiotic moments are going to divinely take us well into the new year. So we are just really starting a course mid-year in case those things that we've been looking for, those things that we've asked for when the year started out, because we all did the prayer and purge at the beginning of the year, right? So in case those things were not moving the way that we wanted them to, in case those things were not necessarily looking the way we want to, in case we're feeling stuck, we are at mid-year, starting with meiotic moments. It is divine alignment. And again, these meiotic moments are going to take us well into 2025 and beyond. And I think it's going to be incredible. Because what a better way to put things in place than to put yourself back together? What a better way to put things in place than to be putting yourself back together? I'm so, so excited. So, first off, I want to talk about the meiotic moments. This whole series that's coming, 42 weeks of it, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, what we're going to be doing. I want to make sure that we all have a very thorough understanding of the meiotic moments, the mission behind it, so that we're all able to use them for our healing and our growing and our development. Peace, boo-boo. So, first off, Mayat. Mayat is an ancient spiritual cultural practice, an ancient cultural practice of spirituality for Africans and those of African descent. There are many practices of spirituality when it comes from the grand and beautiful continent of Africa, right? The motherland. There are many, many streams and strands of understanding of spirituality. Maya is one of those very major, wonderful ones. It is a spiritual system of propriety, a spiritual system of balance, a spiritual system of togetherness, and a spiritual practice of harmony. Thing. It is spiritual practice of things being done, of civilization, of creation, it is a systematic practice of our best behavior, our best operations of self, and our highest level of oneness with creation. So when I say ancient, I mean that it is starting at the beginning of time, right? Like many of us who get into different religious practices or beliefs, the beginning of time is where we want to know how civilization came together. We want to know how we learned or how to do, what not to do, how to be, how to grow. I always talk about on A Moment of Harmony how the main reason of life, the point of life, is to come here to experience the Creator. You were created as a reflection, as one with creation, and you come here to develop to the highest level of self in experiencing the Creator. One of my favorite artists named Londrell, he always says, what is he says? Life is just a love story. It's one of my favorite songs by him. Life is just a love story. It's all just a love story. It's all just a fairy tale, right? And what he means by that is that we came here to experience God as love, whatever the name is that you refer to God, Ra, all the names that can be used for God, right? That supreme being is a love. At the core, at the operation, all love. And when he says is like, don't take life too serious. Don't get too caught up in all the charades of life, all the glitter of life. Life is simply a love story. It is a story about learning to love to the highest level. That's experiencing God, learning to love yourself and learning to learn others at the highest level of operation. And when you come here, you learn to love in patience. You learn to learn unconditional love. You learn how to love through trials and tribulations, grief, and you come here and you learn how to love and how to be. And you are taken through all types of heights. You're taken to all types of challenges, all types of roads in order to get yourself to that place. But it's all love. And when we talk about Mayat, we're talking about being able to balance the inner self and the outer self, yourself with the rest of the world, being able to balance your as above so below, bringing balance and bringing alignment between the flesh and the spirit, which is the ultimate goal here. When we talk about becoming, becoming is about uniting, keeping together, forging together, becoming, forging together all that you were, all that you are, all that you will be, all of the realms of existence at once. We're talking about unison, we're talking about oneness, we're talking about harmony, we're talking about balance, we're talking about Mayat, right? I get so excited when we're talking about Mayat. But so just understanding that, Mayat comes from cultural practices in Africa, some of the greatest, highest civilizations, learning them and growing with them in that manner. Peace. So when it comes to myotic moments, I want us to keep in mind that we're talking about spiritual practices of behavior, simply and corely, because a lot of people are going to have a lot of feelings and a lot of thoughts about, what is it, and I'm not familiar with it, and some people are familiar with it. And my thing is, don't let everything in life is a love story. Landrell, I am talking and teaching and coming from a perspective of loving others the way we were intended and loving self the way we were intended, which is the furthest way from operation right now. We want ourselves to operate. We want our lives to operate. We want our existence and our reality to be supreme in existence, but we only vibrate on the lowest level of self, which is a fleshly level. We only vibrate on a survival level. We only vibrate on a limited level of existence when the greatest level of self is waiting for you. And so when it comes to Mayat, we're talking about, again, spiritual practices and behavioral systems put in place that worked for us long before we subscribed to ways of living and ways of being that were counterproductive to us, that were counterproductive to love, that were not morally centered, that are not humanly centered, that are not lovingly centered. So for everyone that subscribes to many other different religions, whether you are a Christian or a Muslim, or whether you practice Judaism and Buddhism or what have you, we all can be at a place, especially those of African descent. We all can be at a place of character building, character development, and the birthing of a new and better self. We all can practice systems and go into ways. And listen, this is one thing I've learned. When I was growing up, my mother was my mother's a single mother of 7. Those who have been following me know many, many aspects of this story. But my mom is a single mother of 7. And she was very much finding herself my mother's very explorative. She's very bold. She's very brave. She was very much finding herself most of raising us. So we were exposed to many, many, many different ways and walks of life. And for me, myself personally, it made me very tolerant. It made me very observant. It made me very open. And it made me very also laser focused on a truth, very laser focused on the point. Because when you hear and you see so many philosophies and ways of life and ways of thinking, you really want to hone more into what resonates with you, where you came from, and you really want to you sit and do a Venn diagram, if you will, of all that you've been exposed to in order to find your path. And there are familiar or familial structures that all religions practice as far as peace and love and togetherness, right? The centeredness of creation in all spiritual practices. And my thing is, that is what my meiotic moments, again, you can find the 42 laws of Maya, you'll find 42 laws, 42 what is it, affirmations. You'll find all different variants of these that I'm going to be going through in my meiotic moments. This is me coming from a very core place of the creator being in all the center of all of creation. I'm coming from a very core place. I am putting my own spin and my own touch onto things. I am honoring my mamas and babas and my wali moos. I am also honoring all of the teachings, but I am going to do that harmony thing because that's just what harmony does. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do that harmony thing of bringing in all that I've experienced, coming to you in the way that I was sent to you, humbly, graciously, and full of all the love and light that the Creator has put inside me. So for all those watching that feel like, they have their own thoughts, you have your own ideas, you are more than welcome to do that. What does India say? uh Ain't nothing that I'm saying law. Okay, ain't nothing that I'm saying law. This is a lifelong lesson. What she say? This is a true confession of a lifelong lesson I was sent here to share with y'all. There we go. So 42 laws of meiotic moments. We're making them ours. We're getting into them today. So I want us again to be able to understand that what we're getting into is the core of creation at the center of your beingness. Core of creation at the center of your beingness. I will not get stuck on the things that divide us. I will only focus on the things that bring us together. That is only what's going to happen on meiotic moments, on a moment of harmony. Those things that bring us together, those things that make us one, those things that will heal us as a people, as a nation, as a body. That is you're going to get from me in meiotic moments today. And we're doing this for the development of our character, because again, we can't receive the healing if the roots are closed. We can't be open if we don't have the capacity to hold what the Creator is going to pour into us. So I want our characters to be of supreme operation, because we've done a lot of work with meiotic moments. We've done a lot, I mean, with a matter of moments. I'm sorry. We've done a lot of work with a matter of moments, with our a moment of affirmation, our affirmation moments, our declaration moments, our reflection moments. We've done a lot of work, and I feel like we are at a place open enough to do great work in the meiotic moments. So we're moving into that. And again, we're going to do that for 42 weeks. Excuse me. We're going to dedicate ourselves. We're going to go into ourselves. Now, today's meiotic moment is entitled, I have not committed sin. It's the first law of Ma'at. I have not committed sin. The 42 laws are Ma'at, are set up to be a day-to-day declaration to self. These are commitments and laws to yourself on a daily basis. A lot of times when we have rules or laws or guidelines that we go by, we make them grand. We make them these big, like, I will never sin or lie or cheat or steal. We will never do these things. And it becomes this big, massive, lifelong goal, instead of really being able to take in the humility of the growing of your spiritual growth. Your spirit is the greatest, grandest part of who you are. Your spirit is the most important part of of your existence. So when you put rules on it, when you put laws on it, when you put in guidelines on your spirit, this is something you want to be humble about. This is something you want to be humble to. You understand that this is the most sacred part of me that I'm working on. This is the most beautiful and amazing part of me that is being developed. And really, life is developing it. The Creator is developing it. I am fostering it. I am protecting it. I am nurturing it. I am fulfilling my role in the development of my spirit, and that is no small feat. It is the most important thing I will do for myself, for my life, what I magnetize to myself, what I produce, what I create. The most important work is my spirit work. So understanding that when you say like I won't ever, you shall not, I shall not, don't, you better not, we don't. Listen, I'm not saying anything is wrong with having your rules and your guidelines and your operations for your spiritual practices. I just want to break down the practice of the 42 laws of Maya and how that works, right? And how it works out is we start out at the beginning of the day giving a declaration to the commitment. So we make the commitment at the beginning of the day. We affirm the commitment at the end of the day. And however many you can get through at the end of the day that you have actually worked through and conquered is the soul work you've been able to work on that day. It does not mean that if you didn't get it, if you aren't able to affirm it, you set the intention at the beginning of the day, you're halfway there, and then at the end of the day. So when it says I have not committed sin, all of the laws are going to come through like that. They're going to come through like, I haven't done committed sin. I have not, had acts of violence, things to that nature. But I want you to know that in practice, they are said at the beginning of the day, I will not commit sin. And then at the end of the day, before you go to sleep, I have not committed sin. And I wanted to point that out because if you could just put a massive commitment on your spirit and life and your development and your growth, if there was no need for mercy or grace or wiggle room, we wouldn't need to make the deck. I want to show the commitment daily. It is such a strong commitment to keep your spirit uplifted, to keep your spirit whole, to keep your spirit righteous, that it is in practice, it is announced before your day starts. It starts you off, and then you also go and affirm it at the end and confirm within yourself that you carried it through. If this was something that was easy to do, you wouldn't need to say it every day. If this was something that was easy to do, we wouldn't need to plan it and then affirm it, right? And the fact that you have to do that shows the amount of dedication and intention that goes into your spiritual work from day to day. So in practice of the 42 laws of Maya, we would start out and say, I will not commit sin. Now I want to get into this one. And I'm happy to start off with this one. I'm happy to go into this one. I'm glad that it's number one. And I have an amazing feeling about these meiotic moments and what's going to unfold, not only for myself, but for all of you, what's going to unfold collectively as we go into this work in this way. It's about to get real divine up in here, y'all. It's about to get real divine up in the moment of harmony. So here we go. So now that we've gotten Maya and we understand why we're doing what we're doing, where we're going, we're on this journey together. We locked in. If you locked in, ain't no switching up. Okay, if you get in here, we're taking this meiotic moment journey and we are going to go through all of these ways in a way that makes our lives simpler, easier, more righteous, cleaner, clearer, more morally centered, and then again opening up our hearts to be able to hold the capacity of love that the Creator can pour in. And when I tell you that love is endless, when I tell you that life is limitless, when I tell you that these things have the way that we pocket them in our minds, the way that we restrict them with fear, the way that we restrict them with experience and trauma. And I'm saying, if only we could be more open so that the Creator could get more inside of us. If only we could be more open so that the Creator could get more inside of us. And that is the whole point of these meiotic moments. It is to clear up your character so that your center is open. Clear up your character. You don't have to restrict yourself to low vibrational behavior and prisons of the flesh, prisons of immorality, prisons of low vibration. Low vibration keeps you down, and I want us to be free. I want us to be open because what the Creator can instill in you what the Creator can invoke in you, what the Creator has endowed in you, you have not yet even the ability to comprehend on the level that is this society, this reality, especially with the way that things are up and around and about here, right? So I want us to be able to, that is, we're clearing up our center so that we can be filled. Fill me up. Fill me up. Fill me up with the love. Fill me up with the light. Help me to see around the limits of the flesh. Help me to see around the limits of this experience, because you are limitless as a spiritual being. But until we put spirit first, I was just talking to somebody not that long ago, and they were just tired, and they were talking about all the things they were dealing with at work, and they just needed mental rest day. And I just was saying, like, look, it is so easy to forget the point of being here. The point of this existence is not survival, and it is not not to sustain. It's responsible to survive. It's responsible to sustain. It's necessary for us to be able to live and take it. But taking care of the flesh is not secondary to taking care of the spirit. We are here to elevate, period. You are here to elevate. When you were created and you came out of your mother's womb, you came with a mission, and you came with endless capabilities of reaching your highest level of self, highest level of communication, far greater than just with your words and with your acts. Right? You have all types of abilities within yourself. People call them supernatural. I call them supreme divine capabilities. We all do. And you came here to continue to elevate to the highest level of operation and to experience creation in that way. You came here to experience God. You came here to experience in becoming. And I want us to make sure that we are continuously keeping that at the forefront as we walk through, work through, and grow. Do not get past the point of your existence as you are trying to live and survive in this realm of reality. So, I have not committed sin. Now, a lot of times we hear sin, it is big, it's like doom, doom, doom. I always hear people equate sin or a lack of sin to perfection. I want to give the definition of sin today as the act of righteousness, or the sin as a lack of righteousness. That's what I'll say. I want to define sin as a lack of righteousness, and sin as those that transgress against righteousness. I'm not saying that with sin or without sin you are perfect, because I do hear that a lot. Perfection. None of us are without sin. None of us. Listen, I am saying that sin in this moment, sin is not the absence of perfection, or sin or not committing sin means that you must be perfect. I am saying that the absence of sin or being without sin is in working within, living within, thriving within righteousness. You don't have to be perfect. Remember, I talked to you about how the laws of Ma'at, one is spoken in the morning, I will not. One is spoken in the evening, I have not. I don't need to put that much effort into anything that's going to be perfect. This is already letting me know that my human nature will intercede, that influence and thought and propaganda and all of these things will come into the mix of the million decisions I will have to make in a righteous manner throughout the day for my spirit. So I'm saying that I have not committed sin or to be without sin does not mean that you are perfect. It means that you are right. I cannot commit to being Londrell again, one of my favorite artists. He says, I'm pure, not perfect. That's what I want us to understand today when we talk about I have not committed sin. I'm pure, not perfect. My intentions are righteous. My thoughts are righteous. My deeds are righteous. I may not always do the perfect thing, but I will always commit to doing the right thing. I will commit to doing things the right way. And when I haven't, I will go back and I will reconsider. I will right that wrong. I will correct. I will bring balance. I will go back and say, you know what? That wasn't right. That wasn't the right way to think. That wasn't the right way to behave. That wasn't the right way to go about that. It wasn't even the right thing to eat. It wasn't the right thing that I watched. My goal is to be righteous. I have not committed sin. Have you been righteous in your thoughts? Have you been righteous in your deeds? Have you been righteous in your actions? That is going to be our goal when we take on this law. Again, not perfect, right? It might not, my delivery might not be the way I go about it might not be the way, my process may take longer, but it will be right. I will stick through it. I will stay the course. I will continue to learn and to grow. I will do what is right. Not perfection, but righteousness. When we get into, I want us to think about when I say righteousness and not perfection, because a lot of times when we go into laws and rules, especially those of religion, they're so matter of fact. Like, no, you should never. This is how I want us to understand pure, not perfect. Landrell. A lot of times when we get into a lot of these things, we go into like, hey, I'm not going to, it says you should not murder, right? And if you murder, you have sinned. You should not lie. And if you lie, you have sinned, right? And and this is where I go into pure, not perfect, because we would say, no, we shouldn't murder. We shouldn't take the life of other things or people. Now, but if somebody come up in your house and someone comes to do harm to you, guess what you're going to do? Most of us going to get with them. Okay? Somebody leaving out in a bag, and it's, hey, you know what I'm saying, is YouTube. So what I'm saying is, are you a sinner? Are you a sinner? When we talk about have not committed sin, they say lying, you should not lie, right? This black and white, this bone dry, cut dry. But I want us to think about those that were in the Holocaust, those Jews that were portraying themselves as non-Jewish in order to not be murdered or taken to concentration camps, or those of us of African descent that were mulatto in nature and were passing in order to have opportunities in life. Passing. So my thing is, are they sinners? And I'm saying a lot of times we try to make these things very cut and dry. And I'm not, and I'm not saying whether or not I declare you a sinner. Not my role. I don't want it. Not saying whether or not you are bad if you have done. I just want us to see the difference between pure and not perfect. My intent is righteousness. My goal is to keep and sustain the life that I have within myself in a righteous manner. My goal is to keep and sustain the life of those around me in a righteous manner. Pure, not perfect. Not the perfect thing, but the right thing. Not the perfect thing, but the right thing. And this is the difference in what I'm saying and what I believe is really operated in when we think of things like sin, right? Oh, I know that this myotic moment, this is going to be a special session. And I can only imagine the thoughts and things. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just a messenger. I'm just a messenger. So pure, not perfect. We just asking for it to be right. When we're saying I have not committed sin, I'm asking for you to eat the right food. When I say I have not committed sin, I'm asking for you to use the right words. I'm asking for you to have the right thoughts. I'm asking for you to take the right direction. I'm asking for you to try the right way. Go at it righteously. I will not commit sin simply means it doesn't mean I'm going to go through here without being human in some way, without regret, without mistake. Oh my God, mistake. No, I am going to learn. I am going to lose. I am going to gain. I am going to try. I'm going to win. I'm going to fail. Listen, at the end of the day, though, it will be right. This is why we always say in the midst of chaos and trauma, everything will be all right. Because the end game is your supreme elevation. The end goal is for you to become a greater level of yourself. If you become a greater level of yourself in the entire process, you have been right. It has been righteous. I want you to know when you're coming out of hardship, when you're dealing with the impossible, when things are coming at you the wrong way, but has it been righteous? Have I honored myself? Have I spoken to my soul? Has it spoken to me? Have I answered it? This has not been the way that I wanted to do. And sometimes I did things that I thought were right in the moment, and the outcome didn't come out. It will be all right. It will be all right. This is why we say that. No worries in the pain of sadness, in disappointment, in the midnight hour. You call someone that you love, and one of the things that they're going to tell you is that it's going to be all right. Righteousness will prevail. So when you get into the point of like, what have I done? Who am I becoming? Where am I going? What am I doing? Are you moving right? I don't know the next thing to do. I want to do the most righteous thing. The Creator is going to tell you the very next righteous thing. What if I told you that the righteous thing may be what someone considers a not to do? Don't tell that person. Protect yourself. Don't and I'm not talking about malicious, manipulative, like that's not righteous. No, Creator is never ever going to tell you to trick someone, hurt someone, harm someone, be dishonest when the truth will do. I'm talking about moving through your journey of learning yourself. Truths that aren't truths to you at one point, but are truths to you later. We're talking about the journey of progression and development. Not perfect, but right. I will not always be perfect. The temper can get lost. A profane word may come about. I may, what is it? I may have to grow in my maturity. I may have to revisit myself in conversation. I may have to go and bring my balance to what it is. I may have to apologize. I may have to sit and think about it. I may become frustrated. I may become impatient. These things are going to happen but I am going through them. And I am going to come out the other side of it. I'm intentionally purifying myself. I'm pure, not perfect. So when it says I have not committed sin, all I am saying is that I was righteous in my thoughts. I was righteous in my deeds. I was righteous in my actions. There were things I wanted to do. There were things I wanted to say. There were battles that I had. There were decisions that I had to make. See, a lot of times when we think about sin, we think that we don't have to make the decision. We're just going to go about that way. We think that we're not going to have to go through a process. We're just going to come about. We're going to make a commitment and come about that way. You are going to learn and grow your way through this life. You are absolutely, if you are blessed enough and you are intentional enough and consistent enough, you are absolutely going to learn and love and grow your way through this life. You will not just be, you will not just wake up in the way that we define perfection as far as sin goes. I'm not saying you're not perfect. I believe you are. And your girl definitely, you know what I'm saying? I'm perfect for the experience that has been set before me. I'm perfect for the powers that have been endowed in me. I'm perfect for the journey because I am intentional about my purification, the purification and the protection and the development of my soul and my spirit. And I'm intentional through my righteousness. Was I righteous in thought? Stop. Are your thoughts that of a open, loving being? And Mayat, there is a teaching of your heart being light as a feather, right? This is metaphorical for the weight of your heart. I actually did a lecture about that some years ago. But the weight of your heart, the weight of your heart. And the teaching is that when you transition, that your heart is weighed, whether or not you are entering into the next level of divine operation, whether you have graduated into your ancestral beingness, is the weight of your heart. It's not who you were connected to. It's not what you were connected to. It's not what you did, what you said, but it's the thought and your deeds and your actions and how they weigh within your heart, the weight of your heart. When you are light in thought, you are right in thought. When you are light in behavior, you are right in behavior. When you are light in language, you are right, meaning it should not be heavy with regret, heavy with pain, heavy with malice, heavy with what is it? Negativity. That's the word. Negativity. It is not heavy with negativity. You are light and your thoughts are. So when you are having thoughts about yourself, righteous your thoughts. Lighten your thoughts. Oh my God, grace and mercy on yourself, grace and mercy with others, grace and mercy with life in the process of it. I have so much patience for the process of life. There were times when I would used to worry and I don't know, and I would overthink and listen. And sometimes listen, because it's a daily thing in the morning and at night. And sometimes I still have to go back in and lighten the thought. And let life lighten. Righteous thoughts. Do not be here in your thoughts in a negative place of all the things you hate and all the horrible things that are going to happen and all the things and thinking hardship on others, thinking negatively about yourself, thinking negatively about your accomplishments. Lighten your thoughts so that you can lighten your heart and you can be righteous inside of yourself and in this life. Your deeds, the things that you are doing and going about, the things that you are committing yourself to, are they righteous? The things that you are trying, are you doing these things with ill intent? Are you having selfish, backsliding motives? Are you being negative and hurtful to others so that you can experience material gain or notoriety or fame? Your deeds, lighten your deeds. Give to others in the heart and the light of giving to others. Be there for others in the light and the heart of being there. Listen, I am just waking up this morning with the pure intention to lighten my heart. Things are going to come. The reason that lightening your heart becomes a work and an effort is because much is going to come. My thoughts are going to get weary and worrisome. People are going to come and put their energies on me. The past is going to creep up. Where I'm trying to go, challenge and conflict and overcoming and resilience of these obstacles, these things are going to come by the plenty. I must take great effort in the righteousness of my deeds. Why am I doing what I'm doing, and what am I doing? What am I doing? I want to give light and life. If I came here to experience God, then when people come in my space, they should only experience God. Righteousness. When you learn and you get to know harmony, you get close to me, you should be getting closer to God. Righteousness. The I have not committed sin is not as complicated as we think it is. It's not, it is righteousness in my thoughts and my deeds and my actions. Your actions. Think righteous thoughts, have righteous words, move in a righteous manner, make righteous choices and decisions. Be honest with people. Be honest with yourself, y'all. We out, oh my God, the things that I can see, especially now with social media. The things that we do to each other. What if I told you that's the weight? The things that you do to yourself, that's the weight. Literally, righteousness in being, righteousness in becoming is 1000% the way you show up for other people. And most importantly, the way you show up for yourself. How you treat the things that you think you're getting away with, lying to, being manipulative, being dishonest, being backstabbing and selfish and self-centered and antagonistic and angry. Listen, I have seen, this is what I mean by pure, not perfect. I don't care what you can recite. Definitely in my line of work, I am a healer and a person of light, right? Light, what do they call? Light worker. I am around hundreds of people in the nature of my work, of working in the community, of working for others, that claim to be here for the people, claim here to be for the upliftment and the betterment. And there are a lot that are, give thanks. But let me tell you too, I have seen, my eyes have seen, my ears have heard. I had known people who will eat all of the cleanest of foods. They will recite every scripture of every, I don't care if it's the Quran, the Hosea, the Bible. Listen, they will go through all of it. They know about every chakra alignment. They can tell you every herb and crystal. And they are, and but wish ill on others. Are malicious and nasty and negative towards their own selves and things around them. I no longer care to hear about your connection to the Creator. I don't want to hear about your understanding of spirituality. All I want to do is feel. I don't even want to see. I don't even want to see it. The only sense that I want to use when it comes to your authenticity, when it comes to your level of development, when it comes to your spiritual health and enlightenment, when it comes to the weight of your heart. Oh, the only thing I do these days. Listen, I was younger. I was a young girl. I was caught up on, oh my God, look at this picture. Look at these people. Look at the way this person is. Look at how they eat. Look at how they live. Look at what they think. Look at what they know. Not anymore. Not, I couldn't care less. Because in this, I have seen standing and speaking and preaching and going home and being the exact opposite of everything you told others to be. Going, and I've seen people in their quietness of themselves and their hearts are not light. They got a light, they speak, they give a light lesson and live a heavy life. Don't want petty, immature, unrighteous. At the end of the day, your righteousness is weighed in your heart. And guess what else, beautiful people? Your righteousness is weighed by you. At the end of the day, what that heart do? Show me what that heart about though. Holding people hostage with emotions, manipulation. Hurting people, inflicting and projecting your pain on others. Being merciless. Is it merciless? Merciless. Yes. being conniving and conning. But I have not sinned. I have not committed sin. It simply means that at the start of my day, I spoke out into the world, into myself, most importantly, because I hear myself before anyone else hears me. I spoke out and I said, I will not commit sin. And I am simply declaring that I will be righteous. I will be pure, not perfect. Andrea, I will be righteous in my thoughts, in my deeds, and my actions. I will treat others with love and kindness and respect no matter what. Even when I have to tell people about themselves, even when I have to put up boundaries, even when I have to separate myself, even when I have to do things to grow and protect myself, I will do it in a righteous manner. Mayat is right in might. I'm so happy to be talking about Mayat. Rayat is right in might. Don't get it twisted. That's what that means. Don't get it twisted. Do not think that in my protection of myself and my beauty and my divinity that I won't protect it by any means necessary and that I won't do anything necessary to keep myself. Remember, I said that your spirit is the most important part of this entire experience. I'm so glad you're a part of this humanly, fleshly experience. I'm so glad that you're here, glad that you're a part of that, you're contributing yourself. But I want to tell you that as beautiful as you are, as strong as you are, as powerful as you are, your complexion, your everything about you, the most important part of the entire experience is your spirit. I won't take my spirit lightly. I won't take your spirit lightly. I have not committed sin. I won't take my spirit lightly. I won't take your spirit lightly. I have not committed sin. I won't take my spirit lightly. I won't take my journey lightly. I won't take my healing lightly. I won't take my development lightly. I won't take my growth lightly. I will become her. And I will protect and develop and nurture her. And by doing that, I will develop, nurture, and protect you. But do know that Maya is right and might. It is balance. It is extreme balance. So when I say I have not committed sin, it means that I was righteous. It didn't mean that I didn't fall and stumble. I didn't have to figure it out. I didn't get it together. But at the center of my heart, it is a light. I will wake with a light heart. I will go to sleep with a light heart. I will release myself. I will release you. I will do whatever is necessary for the lightness because the light is right. And to not commit sin only means that I am righteous. I am righteous. And again, we all have these grand thoughts or have had. These grand thoughts and definitions of righteous and men and women of God and living into a supreme divinity and what it looks like. And we all, or many have thought it was someone else. You thought all this time that the righteousness of the highest level of its supremacy was someone else, was somewhere else, was going to come to you from someone else, was going to come at you from something else. I'm telling you that righteousness is simply the weight of your heart. It's the weight of your heart. You release whatever is weighing on your heart. You release whatever is holding down the weight within yourself. And you protect whatever keeps you joyful and light. In light in operation. And you know when things are righteous because Mayat is balance. You'll reflect. You will know when what you are in, what you are involved in, what you are connected to, what you are dealing with is right. because it won't be just right for you. It will magnetize right for all things connected to you. One of my favorite songs right now is Everything Attached to You Wins. I ain't no singer, y'all. I'm trying to, that's my sisters. Those are my sisters. So they should sing it for me. Everything attached to you wins. One of my favorite songs right now. Everything attached to you wins. This is my level. This is my measurement of righteousness, the weight of my heart. If everything that's attached to me is winning, if everything that I'm connected to, even if it's going through, listen, don't get it twisted. Even if your marriage is going through, even if your finances are going through, even if your career is changing, I'm not saying it's not going through. I'm saying that it's winning, though. It's surviving, though. It's growing, though. It's learning, though. It's transforming. It's not stuck, stagnant, or dead. It's not destructive or debilitating. That is not right. If it is, you're tied to something unrighteous. It's not growing. Ooh. It's not growing. It's something, if you get an infection anywhere, someone gets an infection and things are, and it's not healing, that's how the doctor knows something is deeply wrong. If you go and look at a baby that's not, they do this is why they measure your baby every month, constantly, constantly, constantly. Because when it stops growing, something is wrong. And if something is wrong, it's not right. And if something's not right, how can it be righteous? I have not committed sin. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this very first meiotic moment. I look forward to us going through all 42 laws of Ma'at together. I am so moved. I am so inspired. And I just know the Creator is about to do something miraculous for these moments, for me in these moments, for my life in these moments. And the same goes for you. The Creator is about to do great and wonderful things in your Ma'at because you are about to have a lot of meiotic moments. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me for another moment of harmony. I look forward to having all of these moments with you, child, all of the moments. And I look forward to another moment of harmony with you next week. Meiotic moments, child. We in them, y'all. Y'all ready to grow? Y'all, what, Issa, let's grow. Y'all ready to heal? Y'all ready to become your better selves? You ready to develop and nurture and put a lens on your character? I'm ready to do it with you because guess what? Next level. Here we come. I want y'all to take really, really, really good care of yourself. Take really great care of yourself and go on out your way to take really, really good care of someone else. I love you all so much. Number one, meiotic moments. I'm ready to get into the rest of these meiotic moments. Be right. Just be right. That's what it is. I just do it right. Say it right. Try it right. Go about it the right way. And watch how you come out the light way. I love you all so much. I'll see you next week for another moment of harmony.